What's up, everybody? This is Rob Schou with Homes in Southern Maryland, powered by EXP Realty. Today we're going to talk about the cost of living of the three different counties in Southern Maryland. Alright, so before we get started, if this is your first time in the channel and you want to learn more about living and playing and eating and everything in Southern Maryland, make sure you click that subscribe button down at the bottom, click that little bell so you're notified every single time we post new content to our channel. Honestly, we've been getting people reaching out a lot, and we love helping people move to Southern Maryland. So hopefully this content helps you, hopefully you want to move here, and hopefully we can help you make that happen. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to talk about the cost of living of the three different counties in Southern Maryland and kind of give you a good idea of maybe what county works best for you when you're thinking about it. So before we even get started, the cost of living varies from each county, but also maybe the biggest choice you're making isn't based on the cost of living. Maybe it's based on where your employment is. So a lot of people that work in DC choose to live in Charles or Calvert County, and a lot of people that work at the Patuxent River Naval Air Station choose to live in St. Mary's County. So that kind of drives the different cost of living factors of each of these counties, and we'll kind of go over that as we go over each individual county. But just keep that in mind. So if you're in DC, most likely you're going to be choosing either Calvert County or Charles County, and if you're working at Pax River at the Naval Air Station, you're most likely going to choose St. Mary's County. Starting off, we're going to talk about Calvert County. Now, Calvert County overall is 24% higher than the national average for cost of living. Now, that's really driven by their housing costs. The average house in Calvert County goes for about $399,000. That's 40% higher than the national average. So that's a huge increase compared to what you would expect in other areas, and even it's the highest housing cost in the Southern Maryland area as well. Now, the transportation is also higher too. It's 46% higher, and that goes to that commute that I talked about earlier. A lot of people that work in Calvert or live in Calvert don't work in Calvert. They normally commute to Annapolis or DC or other areas to work, and they like Calvert because of that country laid-back feel. Now, one of the things that you can save on when you're moving to Calvert is the health cost. The health cost in Calvert is actually 10% below the national average, and there's some really great doctors and physicians and stuff that are all in that area, and that the hospital that's in Calvert County is a top-notch hospital as well. So those are kind of those cost of livings that I wanted to go over with for Calvert. It is more expensive. It is one of the most expensive in that it is the most expensive in Southern Maryland, but there's lots of benefits to it. It is a beautiful country setting, and it's also the least populated of the Southern Maryland counties. All right, so the second county we're going to talk about is Charles County. Now, overall, Charles County is only 14% higher than the national average, so it's a pretty moderate compared to Calvert County, but it still is a little higher than other areas around the nation. Now, for housing costs, it's about 14% higher than the national average, and the average house costs $383,000. And you can find less expensive houses in different areas, of course, because it's just the average, but it's just it can give you an idea of what you're looking at when you're moving to the area. Now, transportation, again, is a little bit higher, or is a good bit higher than the national average. It's 21% higher, and that's 100% related to the fact that most people that live in Charles County don't work in Charles County. Most people that live in Charles County commute elsewhere to work. They call that a bedroom community. So they're moving, or they're traveling to DC and other areas surrounding DC for their employment instead of staying in that Charles County area, which can lead to that higher transportation costs. And just like Calvert, though, Charles County has a low health cost, so their cost for health is 10% below the national average. And that has a lot to do, again, with those great doctors and those great physicians and everything around that Charles County area, especially around the Waldorf area. There's some great medical facilities there. And one of the nice things, too, is with Charles County is you're super close to DC and those really, nation, top national health areas. So even some of those doctors that are in the Georgetown area or maybe up into Baltimore, Johns Hopkins, actually come down and have separate satellite offices down in Waldorf. So there's some great healthcare opportunities for people living in Charles County as well. And our last county we're going to talk about is St. Mary's County. Now this is the southernmost county. And the cost of living is overall about 11% higher than the national average. So when you compare the three counties, St. Mary's County is definitely the most affordable overall, but there are some things that's higher than the other two Southern Maryland counties. So first of all, its housing cost is only 22% higher than the national average, which is the lowest among the three counties. That means that the average house in St. Mary's County right now is right around $346 to $350,000. So that's a little more affordable than the other two counties, but it's still pretty high compared to that national average. Our transportation cost here in St. Mary's County is only 2% above the national average. And the biggest driver for that is people that live in St. Mary's County normally work in St. Mary's County. The biggest employer is the Patuxent River Naval Air Station. And a lot of people have pretty short commutes to get to work because wherever you are in St. Mary's County, the commute normally is only 30 to 40 minutes at the most if you're commuting to Pax River. So that's one of those things you're definitely going to save on if you're in St. Mary's County, is you're probably not traveling too far for work, so you're able to really save on that. Now, health costs though are 12% higher in St. Mary's County than nationally, and that's a big difference, especially since Calvert and Charles are actually below the national average. I think one of the biggest reasons why health costs are so expensive here, or so much more expensive here in St. Mary's County than the other ones, is because there's a lack of choice. We don't have a whole bunch of different doctors around here. We don't have a whole bunch of different practices. And a lot of people that live in St. Mary's County choose to go to Calvert County or choose to go to Charles County or even up to DC or Baltimore for their health care, especially when it comes to specialists and things like that. I see it changing. I'm seeing more and more doctors establish satellite offices down here, so I'm curious to see how that cost of living or the cost of healthcare decreases over time. But for now, we are pretty high in that category of cost of living. So those are the three Southern Maryland counties and their cost of living. If this content was helpful, or if you want to see more content like it, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified every single time we put out new content. And if you're thinking about moving to Southern Maryland or have any questions in general about Southern Maryland, I'm happy to help. Use that contact information you see right there and go ahead and just reach out, email, text, call, anything, and I'd be happy to help. Hope you all have a great day.